Well, the Desmond O'Malley that individuals look more fondly upon, which is not difficult considering the other one. So,
Yes, I've heard some bad things about this other one, and puts a bad taste in my mouth.
it's very interesting. You go by the name Suni now?
Generally, yeah.
You and I may have to have a conversation later about that. I have a few things that pique my interest about you and, well, the stories attached to your name.
See that my reputation precedes me, as usual. And I have a few questions I think that I have for you as well, so I think that'll work out very well.
Very well. Well, I'm sure that all of you wish to have some rest and some food to eat, but Suni, or Desmond, whichever you prefer, why don't you join me for dinner tonight, alone? We can discuss the history you have.
Not to interrupt, that sounds real cool for the two of you, but I do have something. And she'll pull out one of her dwarf rocks. I was given these by the Cobdor dwarves to set up somewhere in the city. Direct teleportation between their city and this one. We'll be able to send forces that way.
Oh.
We need a good place to set this up where it is going to be stable, protected, unnoticed, not messed with. I see a couple of pics as we made our way over here, but I don't know if we can trust all the people that we might have to leave it with. You have any idea of where to set this up?
I understand completely, and especially if you mean the dwarves of the Mozdrum Mountains, the creators of Mjolnir and the like?
That'd be them.
Whew. Okay. Full of surprises, all of you are. I would say the safest place in terms of the area where it could least be tampered with would be the keep. If putting it in the Great Hall here is uncomfortable for you, underneath the Great Hall, probably a mile beneath where we're standing right now, is the Temple of the Order of the All-Seeing. It is a large underground temple where our praying is done, where our training is done, and where we keep our weapons and valuable items. You see, the blades Suni wears around his waist right now, they are not crafted, they are not made, they are passed down. The individual that gave you those must have believed a great deal in your ability to wield them. It is a sacred ground for us. It is a place where only initiated members of the Order of the All-Seeing are allowed to step foot. Members that I would trust with my own life. And I'm sure for all of you, an exception could be made there. And for the dwarves, of course.
Oh. You don't mind the extra foot traffic. A friend of Suni is a friend of ours. Might be good, too. I don't know how big this thing is going to be once I make it, if I'm being honest, but I imagine they'll be coming in little groups. Maybe this way we can keep them hidden.
That is a very good point.
On top of that, we do have some reinforcements on their way here as well. In Periton, the basilisks. They're making their way here.
The basilisks.
All of them.
All right. Well, I definitely feel better about our chances, as of right now, at least to maintain defense of the city. So, very good. After days and months and what feels like years of bad news, finally starting to get some good ones, even if it is the same clans that are, not the same, but the mountain clans that punish Mona right now. On the a separate faction of them want to fight with us. I'm willing to take it at this point.
It's all part of a process of them returning where they'd rather be and a peaceful departure of them from this land as well. Now the
Whatever
other clans will get there, but starting with one
Maybe we can
better.
get them to talk to the other ones.
I don't think they got along.
Let's just get everybody food and shelter first. Things tend to go smoother once you got those.
Yes. Well, glad that is taken care of. I look forward to their arrival. I will have scouts in Vesna that are that belong to me. I will have them keep an eye out to let us know when they are. Vesna is 2.5 days ride from here, I believe. So maybe 3 days by foot for them. They definitely have a.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
I
you're
was just
fine.
going to ask, did Gemma, when you reached out to the Golden Heart, I keep wanting to call them like the company. Is it Golden Heart Company?
Yeah, Company of the Golden Heart.
Okay, there it is. Did we ever get a response of when or if they were going to be coming? We should probably update her of that too, right?
I mean, I don't remember. I think we got that they were going to try and help. I don't think we got any ETAs or anything.
Yeah,
But
Typho said he would commune with the heart, and then they would maybe show up.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll check in with him at some point then. So,
All right.
don't want to be left on red. So.
And then also whatever soldiers. Well, no, you guys wanted the soldiers in Periton that fought to stay there, didn't you? You didn't want them to have to continue to fight.
Yeah, no, to stay. Yeah, we were only taking the basilisks from Periton.
Okay. Diggity dope.
Because they were destroyed.
Good fighters. Okay.
They were good.
Cecily will agree to the all-seeing temple teleport stone circle surprise dwarf attack plan. Also, she will not like Snoop, but since she needs to be the one to assemble it, she's definitely wants to check this place out. This secret underground lightsaber place seems kind of cool.
Okay. Alrighty. So yeah, I will say that she would sort of nod, listening to what you have to say, and she would respond, "Of course, I can show all of you the temple before we set up the teleportation circle, just to make sure that it is to your standards and that it seems like a proper, safe, and defensible place." Now, before we break, of course, you all have the rest of the day and the time that it takes you to accomplish your mission with the Warden to figure out what exactly you plan to do after dealing with Anvath. But the sooner you know, and the sooner you can tell me, I might be able to provide a safer journey for you from Maester to the city you're traveling to, or the place you're traveling to. I could reach out to the Knights of the Dawn to keep enemies away from you so you're not ambushed on your journey. Or I might even be able to provide an armed escort to dissuade attacks from coming your way. But I leave that up to you. I just need a heads up, should you know. Sooner rather than later. Do any of you have any more questions before we move on?
I don't believe so.
Very well. So with that, she kind of nods and she'll say, so before we go down to the temple, do any of you wish to get settled in first? I don't know if you have any personal items you'd like to deposit within the lodges we've prepared for you outside the keep, or I leave it entirely up to you. or we can head straight down to the temple now.
Well, Cecily, do you want to wait or do you want to do it now? Because
Let's get it done now. Then the dwarves can start coordinating. And one of these days when we need them, it's just bam, surprise, 500 dwarves. Get fucked.
Okay. Alrighty. So, with that, she'll nod and say, very well. Then all of you can follow me. The only thing is, and this will need to be done with each one of the dwarves as they enter as well. There will be a rite that needs to be passed on to you for you to be allowed entry. You see, the apprehension to let you in is not just it goes against our codes and morals. It is a magical ward that prevents you from entering. We have individuals that can carve a small part out for the dwarves, but they will need to enter one at a time. And as they do, they will be blessed, they'll be given the proper rites, and they'll be able to walk freely about. And all of you will need to partake in that ceremony as well. It won't take but a few moments for each of you, but it's just to prevent you from, well, being barred entry and being removed via magical means.
Someone needs to
Not a
tell
problem.
them that. And I figure I should probably test the thing to make sure it works anyway, so I'll let them know on the other end.
Very good. Ready. So with that, she'll nod, and if there's nothing else, she will begin to take you deeper into the keep and take you down to the down towards the temple. And on that note, that's actually, we're going to take a break just right there, because that's a pretty good break. Yeah, pretty good break moment there. And we'll be back very shortly. So thanks for watching so far, and we'll be right back. We're back. We're going to go ahead and dive back into the session. So picking up where we left off, our group of adventurers had finally made it in to the city of Maester. The winter city, practically frozen over thanks to the fresh snows of Thimblewinter finally starting to fall. A cruel, harsh, unbearable winter is now beset upon the city of Maester, and apparently this is a winter that they've grown used to. But sadly, due to the wisdom given to you all by the king of the Dwarves of the Mazda Mountains, King Borelli, you know that this winter storm is probably just going to continue to get worse and worse and worse until eventually Ragnarok comes. But you have other things you need to worry about in this current moment. For one, you have the 6 different concerns that have been risen surrounding the city of Maester. Struggles for heat, magical artifacts, power, resources, all things that need your attention in this current moment. Things that seem to have a timetable that could in any day not be available anymore due to the encroaching winter and forces from that of Damara's Keep. Which leads it up to all of you to figure out which of the 6 things you wish to do first. Excuse me, sorry. Of those 6 things, Lord Commander Brighton did tell you the sooner she knows which things you want to do, the sooner she can organize safe travel, or clearing the way so you all incur the least amount of damage possible traveling from place to place. So, with that, the information is given to you about those 6 things that you could do to help aid the city of Maester and improve your chances in a fight sieging Damara's Keep until the majority of your allies arrive within the city. On top of that, you were told that one of the 13 Forsaken is near Maester, at least as in the Old Kingdom, that of Anvoth Moonfall, the entity that is known for psychic manipulation of his opponents. One that went toe-to-toe with the Wardens of Afera and lived and escaped, retreating here to Maester or to the Old Kingdom for some strange reason. All of you know that Mirka, another one of the 13 Forsaken, one of the main servants and generals, leaders of the Dark One's forces, also exists within the Old Kingdom. Knowing that those 2 are near, you know that one of the Wardens of Afera will be arriving to assist you with this fight. Anxious to know who, sadly the information was not given. All of you do, however, bring up that A, you need to have a place for this portal to go that connects this city to that of the Mazda Mountains and the dwarves that exist there, so you may connect with them. So they may send forces, troops, materials, supplies, whatever they can to help aid the war effort. Lord Commander Brighton offers that you may house the teleportation circle within the Temple of the All-Seeing, a holy area dedicated to those members of that faction in particular, offering all of you the ability to enter as you please to use this teleportation circle that you'll set up down there. A safe place for it. Safe from not only the snow, but from forces that would try to tamper with it if they had the idea to do so. So there was that thing in particular from Lady Brighton, but then on top of that, she did also invite Suni to return later that evening to join her for dinner, to discuss a few things that she was rather ominous about in that moment. So Suni, you have that to look forward to later. But with that, she then begins to lead all of you down below the keep, headed towards the Temple of the Order of the All-Seeing. As all of you begin to make your way down the spiraling staircase at the very back of the keep, there's several locked doors that you pass through. You can see that this keep potentially at one point in time belonged to a great lord. The many marbled walls, the wonderful tapestries, or the beautiful mosaic tiles that lined these halls have long been faded, long been destroyed beyond recognition. The only thing that remains are small tatters of purple and gold banners that represent the old longevity and grand nature that House Damaris used to have in this area, but sadly no longer does. Eventually, you make your way towards the back of the keep, and you can see one large staircase that descends down. Walking down the stairs, it eventually slowly begins to transform into a spiral staircase heading down. And as you begin moving down, you begin to hear chanting, humming, individuals in reverential prayer. You can also hear individuals sparring and training, and you can hear that thrumming of the many moonblades that are active here as individuals train. As you enter the Order of the All-Seeing temple, this area has a comfortable ambient temperature. It's not cold, it's not warm, it just is. This area seems to be shielded from the cold of the outside. You can see what looks to be a natural cave that has just been reinforced and carved. It's been decorated with strange-looking artifacts, these spiky crags of rocks that jut out and break away in different strange directions. You can see carvings within the walls, hooded individuals wielding bladeless hilts in their hands, memorials of those who have been faithful servants to the Order of the All-Seeing. You swear what feels like rays of sunlight beam down from a central chamber above you. But as you pass underneath it, you can see what looks to be large white crystal that lets out this glowing white glow amongst the rest of the chamber as all of you enter. This temple is very large. Many, many, many different areas to go and to travel to. But you can see that as you enter, before you can pass all the way underneath that crystal, there is a barrier that stops all of you. Almost like a wall made of webbing. As you push into it, you can push past, but the density and strength needed to push past becomes more and more and more, and even until the strongest of your party, Ajax, you can only get a few feet past it before eventually it's like running into stone as all of you enter here. So, as you enter, you can see Lord Commander Brighton. She turns and smiles as she walked through freely, no issue at all. And she says, I thought it would be best for all of you to see firsthand what I mean. Please do not take it as an insult, of course. But you must now understand that should you place the teleportation circle here, it will be safe. Everywhere has this barrier, except for the one spot we will carve out for the dwarves when they arrive. But
Understood.
the rights. And you can see that she comes to each one of you, and there is a small hand motion that she does, and she taps the top of your forehead, right where your like hairline would be. And you can feel this sort of magical energy push you back a little bit as you feel some separation from your sort of earthly body for a brief second, till eventually you come back, and she smiles and says, you may enter now. And as you do, one by one, you enter freely, and there's nothing that stops you. You're given permission to enter. You take no oaths. There is nothing that holds you to the Order of the All-Seeing, but you are here as honor's guest, and you will respect the artifacts that are here and the holy books to our order that are here. Please do not disturb any of the meditation, any of the study, or any of the training. But I will show you where the safest place for these dwarves to arrive is. And
thank you.
she nods, and she begins to lead all of you down these narrow, cavernous corridors. You can see that each area you enter splits off into 3 different sections. One area that seems dedicated to study, knowledge of books. One that seems dedicated to the practicing of these magics. And the other that seems dedicated to the training of the use of moonblades. As you spend more time here, you can see there are some that specify on one or the other, or maybe all 3. But most of them seem to be sticking to one in particular and focusing on that, whether it be the study of the history, the practicing of magic, or the practicing of the actual martial weapon. But eventually, you make your way deeper into the cavern until it opens up into this large ziggurat-like structure. You can see the staircases that lead up on all 4 sides, and there is this large well of magic that just sort of swirls in the center, changing from blue to green to purple to white, these shifting threads of color and magic. As you make your way around the ziggurat, you head further in, and you arrive in what looks like housing corridors, places for people to stay, beds carved from the stone around you with what look to be feather mattresses and warm blankets set atop. And you can see the corridors extend down incredibly long hallways for about as far as you can see, looking down one hallway to the left and to the right. And she says, I think that this might be the place that is best for the dwarves to arrive. Not only are there lodgings here for them, but it is the farthest point within the temple. Here, if they come in, they can live their lives, do their rituals, whatever they see fit, and it will not disturb the rest of those studying the arts here. And on top of that, as I said, a place for them to stay. We can break the magical ward within these walls while keeping it maintained near the ziggurat. Is this to your satisfaction?
Well, I don't quite know what the word ziggurat means, but other than that, yes.
Hey, Jax just looks at Cecily and goes like this.
Triangle? Well, why don't we just say triangle?
It is a
Like
type
a
of
religious triangle.
structure, yes. It's like a pyramid, but more flat. Let me do it more simple. The building you saw out there that had the big magical well, that is a ziggurat.
Okay. All right. No, that's
Religious pyramid.
religion pyramid square top. Okay. Cool. All right. Where do I put these? She'll take up the dwarf stone.
Okay. You can see Liliana, she kind of gestures to the area where you all are currently standing right now. It's a little bit larger to accommodate the runes that would need to be activated. And we can just say for the purposes of ease, Vondor was retrieved from the lodge before all of you came down here.
Oh, good call.
Oh, hey, Vondor.
Glad you can make it.
Oh, Mimir.
Mimir's with Keothi right now.
Okay.
Mimir, he needed to catch up with Keothi. Oh my goodness, trouble. Yes, Bubba. He's literally just lying on his back like this next to me. Just like,
Aw.
what are you gonna do about it, huh? Like that's what he was doing.
Oh, babe.
Oh my goodness. At least he's not eating plastic. But All right.
What's his favorite activity?
It really is.
Cats love the hell out of plastic, man. I don't know what's going on. My cat once got a plastic bag stuck on his neck and then pissed in it.
What a mood.
Yeah. Now he has a fear of plastic bags because
You hear
one
You hear that,
got
Trouble?
stuck on one.
It's all you got to do, all right?
He's in
For-
a bag.
for
Trouble,
your-
I believe in you.
For your own good. Dude, what is up with you right now? I think he's high, honestly. Now he's just rolling. Just like... Okay, anyway. Vondor says, yes, happy to be here. And he begins to help you, Cecily, with the teleportation circle. This is a rather time-consuming task as you begin to get started. Following Vondor's steps, you being there to help him, Cecily, shortens the time, but it's still probably going to take you about 3 hours. It is a process of removing stone from the ground in the exact shape that the stone discs that you received, and then carving the runes into the ground. And then there's like a very special mortar and pestle that you crush these special runic gemstones in, and then you sprinkle those into the carvings that you made, and then you have to layer this extra this very viscous clear material on top of those to connect everything together. And you can see as you do, in a very strange way, it's reminiscent of like I hate to say this, but like modern RGB in computers, where there's like a clear layer on top, but then there is the shifting radial of dull, deep colors that almost look like they weren't. It looks like they've always been there by the time you finish.
Right.
Like this is just a part of the ground now. There's nothing special from it aside from the dull glow of blue, green, red, and gold that is given off. It doesn't provide any light. It's just like the ground is glowing.
We did like seamless renovations
Yeah.
on the ground. Cool. Wow, that's dope. She'd probably like at the very beginning of the process be like, oh, this is cooler than I thought, and then realize that she has to do it. Oh man. Oh
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, at that point, it's after about an hour, you're just like bent over the entire time. You're like, God, I wish I had knee pads. This is awful.
Someone save me a plate. I'm gonna be here a while. But yeah, that's cool once it's done. But yeah, once it's done, she wants to make sure it works. So.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, Kayla just, the reason I was a little late is because I was helping with her set for Little Shop. I had to go to Menards and get her some stuff, and I felt bad leaving, but she just sent me a finished image of what she'd done. And I'm really proud of my wife for what she did, so I'm gonna share it.
Yay!
Put it in the chat here. Look at that!
Oh, it's so cute!
That's so good!
It's amazing.
She's so
Oh,
good.
that's the chat you meant. Okay. Woo!
Yeah, sorry. I want everybody to see. Everybody. Yeah, way to go, Kayla, indeed. Thanks, Felicity.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Anyway, so she just sent that. So Kayla, I don't know if you're listening, but yeah, I'm proud of you. You did great. At the bottom part is still drying. I tried to add some streak to brown to make it look old. It does look a little dingy, but on purpose. Because it's Skid Row, and Skid Row's nasty. Down on Skid Row. All right, anyway.
What's that fucking
Please
lie?
don't. I can't take it
Million
anymore.
holes.
Oh no, I'm so sorry, Cameron. No.
It's okay.
Oh god, I can only imagine the PTSD that I just triggered. Oh, we'll drop.
Yeah.
We'll drop.
Okay, the set looks really good.
Yeah.
Thank you. We'll stop talking
I-
about the small store that shall not be named.
I got a ribbon for playing Mushnik once.
Ooh.
That was an odd casting choice for me. It was in high school.
Mm. You did Little Shop at Andrean?
No, it was a competition piece.
Oh, okay. All right. I was like,
I I played Mushnik in a song.
Was
And
it
they're like,
Mushnik and Sons?
Yeah.
That's a good song.
And it is a good song. But yeah, I was doing old, not my ethnicity voice, which is probably not great. I don't
That's
know.
okay.
We got a ribbon, man. It was high school.
That's all that matters.
Things were different.
All right. Enough about that place that's kind of scary and has some green stuff in it. Let's get back to D&D. So, eventually, do any of you want to explore a little bit, or do you all just want to like hover over Cecily and just?
No,
How's
I
it going,
actually
kid?
Don't do that.
How's it going, kid?
I wanted to look at the tapestries that were mentioned about the Damaris like story or whatever you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, sure. So you'd have to go back up to the keep for that, which is totally okay. Like
Or we can wait and do that
here.
later.
No,
Okay. Whichever
up
it
to you.
works.
Yeah, sure. Liliana's not like you can't leave.
No leaving anymore.
Does anybody want
I
to?
might join her if she's
Okay.
going up
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, sure.
I'm not.
So
I'll
Bianca
say that
Carosella?
Ajax does. Cecily, you don't need any help, right?
Yeah, I don't know if this is a thing where a bunch of hands really helps, where you kind of just have to keep poking at the ground for a long time and then shape. And Vondor, do we need a third person? No. Okay, we don't need a third person.
Okay. Well, I'll stay in the area. If you need me, just call.
Yeah. Tag team. If I get bored. Well, just kidding. I'd do it right now if that was the. I'll get you. Maybe. I don't know.
Okay. And he just awkwardly walks off after those responses.
Suni will call off to Ajax and say, "Hey Ajax, I was thinking of taking a look around. You want to join me?"
Yeah, I have nothing else to do.
That's
right.
Exactly where I am.
Let's go look at stuff.
Yup. Let's go look at all the stuff.
Stop looking at me like that, Vondor.
Mondor just kind of, he doesn't say anything. He just kind of, he continues drawing the runes on the ground.
You're doing great.
I know I may seem like the weird one, Vondor.
You're not.
I'm not.
No,
Okay.
you're not.
Thank you. Thank you.
You see him, he kind of stops for a moment and he kind of like taps the, the carving knife he has on the ground. And then he shakes his head and decides not to say anything.
If he ever looks up in Suni's general direction, Suni's gonna lick his eyeball.
Yeah, he's like looking at Ajax. And when he was like, all the stuff. And then he looked at Suni, and Suni does that, and he... Okay. Just goes back to carving. Vondor looks at the ground for most of the rest of the time. All right. Well, very cool. So let's go ahead and go to Bianca and Carosilla first for your foray into the tapestries and the keep, and see what all of you discover. So the two of you head back upstairs, and it's maybe a 5-minute walk in order to get all the way up the stairs back to where you were. So it's 5 minutes of stairs, which is so fun. And you eventually do make your way back up, and you now have more time to look at the tapestries, the mosaics, and the different paintings that were here long ago. As the two of you are looking at this, I'd like the two of you... Well, let me ask you this. As Carosilla and Bianca are looking at these, are they kind of like taking their time looking at them separately and then going to come together? Or are they kind of like walking along, looking at the tapestries together?
Should look at it together. I feel like that's cute, you know.
Yeah. Like when you're in
Okay.
an art museum with somebody, you don't
Yeah,
really
like they
leave
put comments like, "Oh, look at the needlework."
Yeah.
Already.
Okay.
Yeah, and I know like Bianca's intentionally trying to like because she doesn't know much about the old kingdom, like the history. Like we know like the bad stuff, but like what's up with the good stuff, and like just wants to like gain more knowledge of like what this place used to be. Oh, trouble.
Okay, yeah.
Baby.
So, I'd like one of the two of you to go ahead and make an investigation check then. What's up?
Without
+7 to
advantage?
my investigation.
I
With
have a
advantage.
+8.
Damn.
+8? Okay, go ahead.
Okay, with advantage. Okay. Oh, 24.
24. Okay, very nice. So, what you find with a 24? Okay, I'm gonna put him down. Oh,
The child is acting up.
yeah, he was starting to be like.
He didn't love it as much.
He's okay with me holding him if I'm standing, but if I'm sitting, it's like 10 seconds at the most. He likes the elevation. Okay. So, as the two of you are looking throughout the mosaics and tapestries and paintings, Bianca with a 24, thanks to Carasilla, kind of, and the two of you talking back and forth, pointing out interesting moments of interest or paintings that have small bits that have preserved very well over the past 200-300 years. Oh my God. You're able to piece together small bits of the story. So you can tell that the individuals of Maester, it seems as though winter was always harsher in Maester, even more so than Damara's Keep. You can tell in a lot of the paintings and in a lot of the tapestries, most are done in the white of winter. You can see that some of the paintings that have preserved the lord and lady, the prince and or the lords and the ladies and their children are all wearing heavy fur-lined cloaks and clothing made for winter weather. So it seems as though winter has always been a strong, prevalent feature of Maester and the surrounding area to a degree. You notice that, and you also notice that the sigil of whatever house this was that of a bear standing up on its hind legs, very similar to that of Bella Clara. Similar being that one is a lion. Actually, am I off base there? I don't think so.
No, I think it's a lion. Pretty sure
Don't-
it's a lion. Because I think both. Oh, I don't know. Definitely not a bear. I can tell you that. I would have remembered doing a bear.
Yeah, I have it here. Let me double check. Last thing I want to do is make a fool out of myself. Bromsgrave, because I put all these in a Legend Keeper. Okay, yeah. So Bella Clara is 2 lions of purple and gold. And this you can see is just one bear that looks to the... Oh my God, right. Jesus. Sorry, brain is right now. So it looks to the right. And you can see that the colors probably were that of blue and white with maybe a few accents, but that's what you're seeing right now. And it seems as though the story of the members of this house was one of loyalty till the bitter end. You can see a large, big family in some of these portraits. You can see some of the sons and daughters wearing armor. You can see portraits on battlefields that were done after the fact. People that fought hard for House Damaris and to preserve what they believed to be the truest form of Bella Clara. People that were noble warriors, that were brave and that were honorable, and they cared. And you can see the paintings, the closer and closer you get to the Great Hall, they begin to diminish. They're more spread out. The tapestries are not nearly so colorful. Because that's the one thing you notice in the beginning, is that even though there's so much winter in these tapestries, mosaics, and paintings, there's still color. There's evergreen trees. There are bright bushels of winter berries of purple and red and blue. There's the bright banners of Bella Clara, the radiant purple and gold of that flag. But as time goes on, the Bella Claran flag is not nearly as prevalent. The colors are more gray and black, more drab and drowned out. It's almost as if you can tell the wealth and the power of whatever house lived in this castle and in this city before slowly began to diminish. And it seemed to have coincided with the fall of House Damaris. As at the very end, you can see the same lord that was painted with 12 sons and 13 daughters at the very beginning of these halls. As you get towards the end, you can see one of the final portraits that's done with him, the one that is preserved best. You can see that it's a portrait of him and one son, and no other children present in the portrait. And that's where the story of this house ends. There's no names that are visible anywhere that you can see, even with a 24. It just seems as though it is a house lost to time due to the cruelty and the betrayal of Ivana.
Well, seems like what everyone says is about accurate, at least according to these tapestries. So tragic.
That's why we're here, right? Do we have to write it? At least stop it from deteriorating any further.
Right.
I think it might be worth looking into trying to find out who this family is. Especially if there's still that son. I think part of rebuilding a kingdom is rebuilding its people.
Yes. And Joe, does she still, because I don't think it ever got resolved, does she still feel like all the presence of all those souls from when she was in the forest before we got to Periton? Or did that kind of get resolved? Because the cold and then all the souls, are those still prevalent?
So the cold at this point, it's not noticeable. And until you've kind of taken a moment to try and notice it, you realize that it's there now. But because of how cold everything else is here, it really doesn't make a difference. But that cold is there. The strange thing about the souls, though, is that was something that you had seen outside Richka, near Periton. But here it's not that you don't see them. Because being connected to the Raven Queen, the Lantern, the Valkyries, all that, even without channeling that magic, you can still feel the presence of souls. Here, there's just nothing. It's like being in a forest where at night when you don't hear bugs, you don't hear the rustling of leaves, you don't hear like cicadas, it's just quiet. It's that as a feeling that you're most of the time pretty familiar with and is most of the time pretty prevalent.
Yeah, she'll kind of run her hand along the side of the last tapestry, listening to what Carasilla said and taking all of that in and thinking about it. Yeah, this place is a shell of what it used to be. It's got to change for everything that, and then looking back at like all the tapestries previously, she'll say, for everything that they fought for and everything that Ivana destroyed. I mean, you'd still have to focus on the Dark One and the 13, but this place needs love and care. It needs to be, this wrong needs to be righted.
Also, I don't think you can dismiss the two as entirely separate. What the Dark One seeks is the destruction, not just of the physical, but of the community. The destruction of the warmth we find in each other. The destruction of those ties, of that sort of merriment. I think restoring this place, allowing for the people to rebuild, to hopefully be able to at least direct these different factions to being together. That kind of unity is something that inherently hurts the Dark One. It's a noble goal.
No, you're absolutely right. But also, I mean, we know Isin was tied to the Dark One. Do you think... I mean, it seems obvious, but I'm just wondering how entangled all of these creatures and Ivana herself are corrupted or controlled or pawns of the Dark One. It's easy to think of them as separate, but you're right, they probably are most definitely not.
And I think knowing the kind of person it seems that she seems to be would be a prime target for the Dark One to try and influence. We already know that Arnvarth is also here, Merca too.
Mm.
I don't think they'd come here just for the sake of it, unless they knew that there was something they'd get out of it.
Besides us.
Well, hopefully they're not just after us. I think they're worried about a larger scale thing currently.
Are you nervous for tomorrow? It's not... I know we expected some big stuff when we got here, but I didn't think we'd so soon be doing something as big as fighting a member of the 13.
Right, well, don't think you can exactly prepare to do something like that. If we're going to have the help of the Wardens. We've already had their help in at least injuring them. I think it gives us a better chance of any. And if past history is anything to go by, it can be rough, but overall, we've already had to face Forsaken and make it out. And it's not to say it's any easy feat. Shima is testament to that. But I also think we give ourselves no service in thinking that we're entirely incapable of facing them. After all, if we never attempted, we may have already lost to them. It's still worth a try. If we know where they are, we know that we'll have help. It's the best we can do.
I knew you'd have a positive spin on it.
Well, it is kind of my thing at this point.
I definitely am not. Worried is a strong word. There's worry, but I feel confident that we will at least make it out, even if we don't end him. I think we're pretty formidable foes at this point. So don't be fooled. I know I can be a little bit more on the pessimistic side, but I'm feeling okay about that. I think we've got this.
And if he's already been able to run tail between legs from the Pharaoh, then all we really need to do is make sure he doesn't try and set roots in Maester. And then at least that's one thing going for us. Keep him moving, keep him from settling down, rebuilding himself, rebuilding any forces I suppose he'd have under him. That's still a victory, even if it doesn't leave him dead.
Yeah. Just lots happening and lots to think about.
Okay. So, as the two of you sort of finish your conversation, you look up one last time at the painting of the old man, probably moments away from entering his final rest, and the son that stands next to him. A young man, broad-shouldered, big, bushy beard, a head shaven, wearing this incredibly fancy, like, fur-rimmed hat. And you can see two bright sapphire blue eyes that peer into the painting with an immense sadness. So, as the two of you look up at that young man and wonder what happened with his life and where he is, we'll cut back to Suni and to Ajax. As the two of you begin to wander about the Temple of the All-Seeing. Now, you can see that as all of you prepared to leave, Liliana excused herself to head back to the war table just in case Captain Fedorov needed anything of her, but assured you that you were free to traverse the temple as you saw fit, provided you didn't disturb anything that was happening. So, Suni, Ajax, as you begin walking, is there anything in particular you are looking for?
Hey, Suni,
Jesus. Sorry.
what exactly are we looking for?
That is an excellent question, and one that I had not considered until this very moment.
There's a lot.
Generally, what I look for when I look for things is anything that looks really, really cool, really, really old, or really, really shiny. That's all you really need. So I'm going to look for, Joe, something really, really cool, really, really old, or really, really shiny.
Okay. Go ahead and make an investigation
Ajax will
check.
assist.
Make it with advantage.
Hell yeah.
Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
For flavor, can I turn on my eye?
Sure, yeah.
I don't make many investigation checks, so.
Jesus, I don't know what I just did. Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, that's a natural 20,
Oh, hell
buddy
yeah.
boy.
Fuck yeah.
All right. The fanciest of
28.
things are found. So there are several things that pique your interest. And I'll go ahead and write the 3 in chat. 1. A large library with very old books. Now, these are books that are not like leather bound. These are like thick sheets of wood that have been carved into that are bound by like metal hooks, or not metal hooks, but like metal circlets.
Are these the ancient texts?
They very well could be. Who knows? They
Who's
seem
this
ancient,
Jesus fellow.
and they seem to be textbooks. Who knows?
Oh yeah.
So we have a large library with very old books. We have an area that seems to be some type of what seems to be some type of crafting station. where there are these intricate machine tools, and a collection of different pieces scattered amongst the different tables, none of which seem to go together. They all seem like pieces to puzzles, or pieces to different puzzles. So you see that. The crafting station, very complicated.
Very cool.
Very complicated, very cool. Crafting. You're not exactly sure what to, though. It's hard for you to tell just off a base glance. And then finally, on the very far wing of the temple, you see what looks to be a fighting arena. It is dropped down about 10 feet. There is a lip or a rim that surrounds it to prevent people from falling in, and you can see that the ground inside is entirely sand. There's no solid surface in there at all. And you can see that there are two individuals that are currently in here sparring with one another, and you can see that each one has moonblades that they're wielding. But Suni, the thing that you notice about the way that they're sparring and the way that they're fighting is you fight light, right? You dance almost with the blades that you wield. These individuals are floating. Like, they take a step or a jump and you can see like a gust of wind follow with them, and the sand is moved around them. You can see them take a jump and a flip, and as they do, that's almost like gravity ignores them for that moment. They are weightless, but so incredibly fast as they move freely around the arena. And the other thing that is very strange, watching them fight, is they're not, and both of you would notice this being people who've been fighting all your lives, they're not watching each other's weapons. They're not reading each other's body language. You can see the two individuals are almost never breaking eye contact, looking at each other. There is some type of connection that the two of them are a part of in that moment, and you can see their bodies just follow suit. But it's not reacting to what they're doing. The two of you, to the best of your knowledge, it seems to be they're reacting to what the other is thinking, what the other is intending. And they spar like that for several more moments until eventually one of them stops. The Moonblade is deactivated, and they bow just as one of the Moonblades was about to make contact and just sort of misses over the top of their head. And you can see the initiate sort of kneel and say, "I submit. Thank you, Master, for the training. I've learned a great deal." "You may rise, young one. You've done a very good job. You may return to your studies for the rest of the evening." And the initiate nods and moves out of the sparring arena. As you can see, the master sort of look up to the group of you standing above. And you can see that this individual in particular, the moonblade that he wielded was blue in terms of its color and shade and the light that it emanated from it. And you can see that he currently wears he currently wears what looks to be entirely black layered robes with trim of light tan and white. As he sort of looks up to the group of you and says, "Well, very interesting. All of you must be the two of you must be two of the individuals that Lord Commander Brighton invited in."
Right.
Yes. Hello there. My name is Ajax.
It is very nice to meet you, Ajax, and I am assuming that you must be a Dragonborn. Excuse me for assuming you must be Sunni, then.
That is correct.
Very wonderful. Well, I am Master Kaijezu. I am a master of the champion arts of the Order of the All-Seeing. It's a great pleasure to meet you.
It is
Likewise.
a pleasure meeting you.
Tell me, is there anything I may assist the two of you in your journey throughout our sacred temple here?
Ajax looks over to Sunni, looks down at the Moonblades, looks back at Sunni, and looks to the Master. And kind of nudges Sunni.
Sunni goes, okay, geez, fine.
I mean, I didn't want to say anything if you didn't want to, but this is a pretty good opportunity.
Yeah, I know.
They were
Okay.
floating.
Yeah, that was really, really fucking cool. Like I said,
can't
always
learn
look for something
anything.
cool.
I mean, we could go back to that anvil tool machine.
Yeah, whatever the fuck that was. Ugh.
Not as cool as the Crucible.
I'm sorry, I hate to interrupt. Were you meaning this to be a private conversation?
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Yeah, yes.
He's like
I was
40 feet away from you.
No, I understand that my voice is very bassy and carries, especially in a hall like this. I think my friend here, he uses those kind of weapons.
Ah. Well, very interesting. Are you an initiate of the Order?
I haven't taken an oath yet or anything, but I had met another member who trusted me with these, and I just have to say that what the two of you were doing was very, very impressive. I've never seen anything like that before.
Yes, it is a sacred art that we hold very dear to our hearts. However, I apologize, young man. Since you have not been initiated, there is very little I can share with you. Should you choose to be initiated in our order, well, perhaps we may talk more then.
How does he go about being initiated?
Well, he'll have to prove himself to the... there's a specific word for it. I'm so sorry. There's so much stuff. Where's it at?
To the...
Yes, John, I am aware. I forgot a word, a made-up word that I made up. And I'm trying to find it. I'm sorry, I'm not a lexicon that can access all my information immediately.
Just Control F.
It's not that simple. It's Legend Keeper.
Oof.
Yeah. This is the only
Sponsor us,
thing.
Legend Keeper.
This is the only reason I don't like Legend Keeper. Not every product is always good. All right.
He doesn't mean that. Sponsor us.
See, but now it's like, now it bothers me. Now I need to find it. You know what I mean? You ever
Well,
there?
we need you to say it, so.
Yeah. This is so embarrassing. Oh my god. Oh, it's because I'm in aisles. God damn it. That's why I couldn't find it. Jesus Christ.
Sunni, you
Jesus.
don't want to check out those books, do you?
I mean, they wouldn't do a whole lot of good to me necessarily. I can only read like a tiny little bit. If there's any picture books, that's right up my alley, though.
I think they were carved on wood.
Okay, sorry, I found it. It's a made-up word, too. That's insane. God, why did I do this to myself? Lord Commander was good enough. I don't know why I needed to give her a second title. Anyway, he says, well, if you are initiated into the Order and you choose to follow a different path than the one that I teach, knowledge of the common tongue and reading and writing is not necessary. The
Oh yeah.
magic that is a part of those tomes, they speak to you. It's just up to you to decipher what they say in your own mind's eye. But As I said, if you want to read those books or operate at the crafting station or to spar with me, you'll need to receive the blessing of the High Arthan, the Lord Commander, that of Brighton.
I mean, that makes enough sense to me, so thank you. Could Ajax and I spar together in the fighting pit?
That depends. Do you think by sparring in this fighting pit that you desecrate one of our holy spaces? It's not a criticism, it's a question.
I would think not.
I would also think not.
Then very well, have at it. If you don't mind, I'd love to watch.
Or I don't see why not. If you're up for it, Ajax.
Are you up for it?
He kind of will like look Ajax up and down and then shrug his shoulders and sure, why not?
All right. Well, don't actually hit me with those blades.
Oh, I won't. I promise.
All right. Yeah, walking into the sparring pit.
All right. So, yep. Two of you head over towards the lip, and you can drop down easy enough. Now, to the two of you for your sparring, would you like this to be an actual competition, or are you guys okay with just kind of describing what happens?
I don't know.
Don't really
You want
care
this to be
one
a
way or the other.
competition?
I mean, Suni's always up for a competition.
All right, it's competition it is then.
Hell yeah.
Boom. Okay, here we go. So, diving into the sparring, since both of you are going to actively try, it would be the two of you have a lot of features, a lot of things that you can do. So pretty much, funny enough, I'm going to use the same mechanics that I use for Kingdoms and Castles.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
But with your modifiers to whichever weapon that you're attacking with, in place of all the bonuses that Twig would get for playing Kingdoms and Castles. So how this is going to work is it's 3 rolls, and it operates on kind of a best of 3 situation. Except if you get 5 below or 5 above somebody or below somebody, pretty much the next roll that you make is either advantage, disadvantage, some combination of that, depending on how you describe how you won that round, okay? So there's a little bit more flavor that you inject into the actual sparring itself. So with that, Suni, Ajax, either one of you may make a weapon attack with a weapon of choice, and this is just 1 flat roll.
Okay. Uh, 25.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, that's not amazing. 17.
17. Okay. Alrighty. So diving into the first round, Ajax, you can feel the lethality that your spear gives you, especially against somebody who is such a close combatant like Suni. Every time he tries to get close to you, you're just able to pull up the shield and take a jab and keep him at bay. So given that context, Suni, in this first attack, what exactly are you attempting to do? Like, what is Suni's basis for going in?
So I think he was going to. I don't know if any of you guys know anything about like basketball, but he was like essentially like a crossover. Like he's gonna like fake left, then go right, but then fake right and go left again, just trying to like dart around and confuse him, and go like underneath where the shield was.
Okay. And then how does Ajax counter that?
So Ajax, very Greek Roman style, shield up with the spear like on his shoulder and kind of backing up as soon as he does that. And then he's going to spin his spear very quickly in a very long, very wide arc in front of him on the ground near Suni and try to catch his legs.
Okay.
So no matter where he zigzags, there's 10 feet of just a spear sweeping.
Yeah. So, Suni, you do get knocked in your ankles and you do end up falling flat on your back. To try and negate any negative penalty going into the second round, I would like you to make a dexterity saving throw for me.
Yeah. 12 plus.
A million.
That's a plus 9.
Yeah, okay.
Same thing, 1,000,009. 21. Right? That's math.
Yeah, it's 21. So with that, you are able to close the gap with that, with the saving throw to not get knocked prone and not go into the next round with disadvantage. So as you get knocked on your back, you end up actually kipping up, sort of going from flat on your back, jumping back onto your feet as Ajax is recovering from the spear thrust. So as we go into the second round, go ahead and make another weapon attack, the two of you.
Ooh, that's way worse than the first one.
Oh, that's better than my last one.
Not 20, sorry. 14.
14.
Oh, okay. 21.
21, okay.
Rolled a 3.
Alrighty. So with that, as you go into the second round, Ajax not anticipating you to kip up so quickly, Suni. What do you do in the second round to even the playing field, to make a balance in this in this sparring?
Wherever he had stopped swinging his spear, Suni, when he got back up, I would imagine him hopping and jumping, and doing a small run jump off of the spear and trying to jump around him and get him from the back.
Okay. All right. As he
trying to impress the flippy floaty guy.
Okay. So seeing him do that, what does Ajax try and do in response? Seeing him try and flip and float and move around behind you?
So as the sweep happens and Suni starts to use that opportunity to run up the spear, Ajax is going to pull the spear out of the ground and try to turn around. He's gonna be behind me, so he's gonna pull the spear out of the ground, release his hand, and twist the spear and try to stab backwards.
Okay.
Where the tip of the spear turns and he goes like
That's
this
cool.
and tries to stab at you.
All right. How does Suni counter that? As you move around, you're ready to strike at the back. You can see the spear coming for you from behind, and you can see there's that brief moment where he kind of lets go of the spear to twist around. What does Suni do in that moment?
I imagine he kind of uses that the salamander scale thing, just a kind of small push of it to kind of just cushion and push himself and the spear kind of away from each other.
Okay. So the spear actually does make contact with you, Suni, but right into the arm guard, and you release a little bit of that concussive energy to bounce the spear back away from you before it's able to make contact entirely. And in that moment, you're able to land that blow as you sort of knock Ajax in the back of the neck with your wrist, as opposed to actually slicing at the back of his neck, and recover a little bit away from him. So as we move into the third round, Ajax, you sort of recoil, spear back in hand. Suni, sort of staring him down, moonblades out. If I could have the two of you make one more attack each.
Ooh, that was really good.
Oh, that was not really good.
Ooh.
29.
Ooh.
17.
Ooh.
Rolled an 18.
Alrighty. As that happens, Suni, you land a little bit away from him. Ajax, you kind of turn around facing him. Suni, what attack do you attempt to make as you try and win this final round to sort of win the spar?
I don't know if this is really dumb, but does the Moonblade need to be activated to do the throw and recoil thing?
Yes.
Damn. I was just gonna try to do a throw with the hilt at him. because I thought that was really comically dumb instead of actually throwing the Moonblade. But never mind. Never mind. That doesn't work that way. Never mind.
Well, you can, I would say that you're attuned to the item, so you could throw it with it on, turn it off when it hits him, and then as the blade is pointed away from Ajax's face, reactivate it and recall it. So that way you bonk him with it still, but it's still on
It's
with the
like-
throw and the retrieve.
It's like in the movies when someone's shooting at someone and they run out of bullets and they just like throw the gun at.
Yeah.
I don't know if Suni trusts himself enough with this weapon yet to try to do that.
That's a good
Especially after being explicitly asked by Ajax not to hit him with the Moonblade.
point. Could you imagine? Ajax is like, all right, this is fun. Just, you bitch.
Whoa!
Okay. So he'll just kind of, I guess, run up and do like an anime jump air slash.
Okay. Yep. So you run, you jump, and Suni, as you do, Ajax, you actually catch this, seeing it. You see a little bit of that sand follow up with him in sort of an unnatural, like anti-gravity way, as if there is that brief moment where Suni is making connections to the forces that be here. But he did leave himself wide open. So what are you gonna do? You know?
So he's jumping up in the air towards me.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, just holding one blade, like all crescent
Just-
stretched out. Yep, trying to come down.
Question: is my shield a buckler shield? Like, can I still grab things with my hand, or is it like Captain America style?
No, it is huge.
Okay.
Like,
Okay, so what's gonna happen is he sees Suni jump up in the air. He smiles. He kind of pulls the spear down, throws the shield to the side, grabs Suni's leg, and just pulls him down to the ground. And then just kind of like twists the spear and with both hands just like point it at him.
Yeah. Suni, you fly for a moment, and then as you're coming down, it's just into the sand. There's an explosion of dust around you as you kind of as the dust
Hate
settles
sand.
and as the dust
John got
settles.
to have one. I needed one too.
Okay. John's was easier to ignore because it was in the chat, you know?
What do you mean?
He
I said hello there.
Oh my god. Oh. All right. Any more Star Wars jokes? And I won't do anything.
Yeah,
I mean,
Ajax
come
is
on.
going to like stop pointing the spear at him and like,
Yeah.
like stab it into the ground and put his hand down to pick him up.
Okay.
And he, will grab back and
You are very quick.
you are very strong.
Well, that's how we complement each other on the battlefield. I mean, we have had quite a bit of fights. And I've been watching everybody. And I'm glad to have you by my side.
Agreed. I'm terrified for anybody who has to fight you, including the Dark One. So
Same to you. I'm also very sorry for doing that. I got carried away.
don't be.
Also, I'm
worries.
in agreement. Sand is... It sucks.
Yeah, and I bet with like the fur everywhere. Oh God, I can't imagine having hair. Ugh.
It gets everywhere.
Server deafen, John. Okay, all right, we're cool. So, so as we come back, the two of you sort of smile at each other for a moment, and you realize nobody said anything. And as you look around, you see no sign of Master Kejezu. He's just gone.
Was he actually here, or did I just imagine that?
Well, if you imagined it, then I did as well.
Good.
Not entirely. We could have both imagined him.
Fair enough. Weirder things have happened.
Or he just got bored and didn't want to watch our sparring anymore.
Man, what a weird place. It's kind of cool though.
You thinking about joining them?
I think that there is a lot that I need to learn in a lot of different ways. So I'm willing to open any of the doors at this point. But I'll just have to see. I'm sure I'll learn more tonight when I talk with Lord Commander Earl, whatever the other 700 names that she has.
That's right, she invited you to dinner.
Yeah. Kind of weird. I'm gonna be like awkward.
I'm sure you'll be fine. I wonder if she's going to just ask you to join. Or maybe she'll initiate you.
I mean, that'd be pretty cool. And I mean, the things that guy was doing, that was crazy. I'd love to learn some of that. And books that read to you, what? That's great.
That does sound pretty interesting.
I'm sure there's lots of ancient wisdom buried around here. I don't know.
Yeah, probably. Will it help us in the battles to come? Probably not.
You know, that was a lot of fun. And we should definitely train together again. I think that, like you said, there's a lot that we could benefit from each other.
I agree. I think we should make this a regular thing. Also, the other day I did try to train Bianca as well, so she might join us.
Oh, that'd be fun. We'll start a club.
You two actually fight somewhat similar. Maybe I can learn something from you. I think we should go find the others.
Yeah, definitely. Thank
Or
you for
maybe we
walking
could
with
check.
me.
Of course. Maybe we can check out that tool anvil thing.
Yeah, I just want to get at least a closer look at it for a second. It's very strange.
We should probably also check in on Cecily. It's been 5 minutes.
Yeah, and who knows with her, it might be blown up by now.
I
I'm just
didn't hear an
kidding, I think.
explosion.
All right.
Fair enough.
So the two of you do make your way towards the crafting table. And you can see an individual here that was not there before. A Genasi woman, seemingly of the earthen variety. Her skin texture is a bit more coarse, a bit more sandy. And you can see she has these like blonde hair with these streaks of red going down the middle. And she looks at you with a smile as you enter and says, "Well, good afternoon. Is there something I may help you two travelers with?"
We were just checking out everything. We're down here for a little while and just taking everything in.
Well, it is my pleasure to help you with anything should you need it. Is there somewhere I can direct you so you may better find where you need to go.
Sorry, I don't know if I missed this. Are we at the machine thing right now?
Yeah, you are.
Okay. And is she like using it?
No, she wasn't using it, quote unquote, but she was standing near it, inspecting some of the parts, but she wasn't crafting anything.
I see. We were just kind of looking around for the time being, but this machine caught our eye. Could you tell us exactly what it is for?
Of course. You see, these tables are used by initiates or those who have taken a path within the Order of the All-Seeing for them to make the necessary modifications to their blades. As she kind of looks down towards your the two on your hilts, or the two on your sword belt, Suni.
What
This is
kind
where
of-
you can install crystals you may find after they have found you, so to speak. And where you can change your blade in whatever way is necessary for your school or your tree you follow, or for whatever way you fight. Now, some are more appropriate than others.
But you have to be an initiate to use it.
Correct. And for me to explain any of the processes or any of the steps, you would also need to be an initiate.
Is it hard to use?
Not in the same way that the tools an artificer uses. But it's difficult for those new to the path. You see, it is equal parts knowledge of the Moonblade as a weapon and the mystical force that allows us to command such strange magical elements. A master of magic and a master of fighting in order to follow the path of the Warden.
We appreciate your knowledge. This
Very
is-
much so.
I'm sorry. My name is Ajax. We didn't get yours.
Of course, my name is Nilhan. I am the master of the Warden Arts in the Order of the All-Seeing.
It is nice to meet you. I'm sure we will be talking again sometime soon.
I very much hope so.
Ajax kind of just looks at Cecily, or not Cecily, sorry, Suni, and just says, or not says anything, just like, do you want to keep going, or are we good?
He'll just kind of give a tiny shake of his head and kind of a scrunch of his face, and then he'll like make a very small bow to Master. Is it Nylan?
Nilhan.
Neilhan?
Nilhan.
Okay,
Yep, you
I was
got it,
very
yep.
wrong. Sorry, I
No,
heard it,
you're-
but then I was reading it. And it threw me off.
No, you're good. You're good. That's fantasy names. You know, like, what
Yep.
can you do?
Yeah, bro trap.
Neilhan. Yes, but so yeah, he'll give like a small bow and say, "Oh my god, oof," and then just give thanks and then start to move on.
Ajax will bow as well.
And she'll return it. So, there's one room left that you haven't thoroughly investigated yet, and that is the area with all the old ancient texts. So, what do you guys want to go there, or do you want to go back and check on Cecily?
Ajax doesn't seem interested in the books, but if Suni goes that way, he will follow.
I think Suni might like pop his head in just to get a better look at it, but I don't need to like investigate it right now.
Okay. Yeah, I would say that just peeking your head in, you do get a better idea of how extensive this archive is, in terms of the books and pieces of information that may be here. Nothing is labeled to something that you would understand with your common eye. There are strange symbols that label each bookcase and string of bookcases, but you are not exactly sure what that means or what it may be connected to. However, you can see there is one individual in particular. They are an entity of incredibly pale white skin with white hair. You can see their eyes are entirely black, and they have these strange markings all along their body. Pointed ears, though, like an elf, but it's almost like they're desaturated. The color and life has been removed from them. There's a very grim connection they have to them. And you see them, they currently are shifting with the books, moving them around. And I forgot to mention this, but you can see that this person in particular is wearing white robes with a black trim, and the other person was wearing the warden that you had met. They were wearing tan robes with white trim.
What color robes were the Moonblade Master?
The champion was black with light
champion.
tan trim.
I see.
And you can see the individual opens one of the tomes, sift through something. You can see the runes, the etchings begin to light and glow, these very dull, desaturated colors as they do. But then they shut the tome and set it back on the bookshelf and continue organizing the books they have. It's up to you if you'd like to say anything or if you'd just like to continue walking.
I think if this guy does not appear to notice Une, he would not bother him or them at this moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. So you kind of peek in there. There is a brief moment where they kind of stop what they're doing and maybe look over their shoulder a bit, but they don't attempt to make any conversation.
Yeah, I'm sure that I will have time to meet this person when I have my Pixie Hollow membership.
Okay.
So,
sounds good.
yeah, I'll just move on.
Alrighty. So with that, the two of you make your way back towards the lodging area where the dwarves will be staying. And as you do return, Cecily, you and Vondor, before they do get back, you can see Vondor, he's sort of carving into the stone floor, and he kind of looks up at the work you've done, and he nods and says, "That's good work you've done."
Oh, is it? That's good. I've been winging it the whole time.
I wasn't able to tell until you said so just now.
Oh. Well, in that case, I'm not. And you should have total confidence.
You don't need to lie. I do have confidence in you.
So he'll just kind of nod, and keep just kind of plucking away. So, think your people are gonna like it down here? I mean, enough, at least. Might be a while.
Enough. There is a pain we all feel being away from the forge, the crucible. I know, just from, you've brought it up passively since I've been around. I know that a stable home life isn't something you necessarily are familiar with, but think of a time where you've been at peace. You felt safe. and then you leave that place. We all feel that leaving our home. But sometimes you have to leave what's safe and what's known to help people, to make a difference out there in the world. That's why I leave so frequently. I want to make a difference. I want to help. And I'm glad King Borelli sees it my way now.
I figure when we're done, I'll jump through. I don't know if you do want to as well, but I just want to make sure it's gonna actually get where it needs to go. Let them know what the deal is with the whole forehead bless thing. It's a little odd to me too.
I will return with you, as it may be the last time I see the Crucible for a good while. But I will still join you.
She'll kind of observe the work at this point, wondering how much is left.
Maybe just 5 or 10 more minutes. At a certain point, you just kind of fell into this almost like meditative state as you were just sort of grinding away at getting it done, and you didn't realize how much time had passed until Vondor had said something. And you are almost all the way done with the circle. Each one of you maybe have an inch or two left on each side. So you'll be finishing the side where he started, and he finishes the side where you started. And you're maybe a couple inches away, so you're pretty close now. Wow.
But yeah, she'll just kind of appreciate the sort of quiet work with him for the most part. Enjoying the lack of conflict in this moment.
Yeah.
Just sort of carve it.
Yeah. And eventually you do finish, and as you do, the runes connect to one another, and there is a brief flash of bright magical energy until eventually the color dims and dulls, and there is just this slight glow. Doesn't emanate light, it is just color that bleeds through the stone with this, like, what almost looks to be like a, I guess like a layer of like what would be plexiglass, like over the top, that is just indistinguishable from the stone around it and the stone that is the circle. And with that, Vondor looks down again and looks back up at you and says, "Very good job."
All right, so is this a both at once thing? Do I need to squeeze in?
We can do 2 at a time, that's fine.
Okay. So kind of stand.
And he'll join you?
Do I need to give it a bop? Like a magical bop?
Yes, about that. Here, watch me do it, and then you'll know what to do next time. Okay. And you can see, having established the teleportation circle, as he channels the magic down and into it, pretty much expending what would be the equivalent of a 2nd level spell slot, it activates and is able to teleport 2 people. It's not big, especially this one is much smaller, and can teleport 2 people at a time. So 2nd level spell slot is expended, and the 2 of you appear in the city of Caledarian. The sights and sounds of the Jedi, of the Temple of the All-Seeing fade away as you hear the chanting, the clinking hammer on anvil, and the sounds of rivers and pleasant sights and sounds of Caledarian. You can see as Vondor appears, there is this tension that releases between his shoulders as he sort of takes a deep breath in And a nod. Very well. Oh. If you wish to accompany me to King Borelli, I will inform him. We can inform him that the circle is ready, and troops, soldiers, can start to enter.
Sure. Come with.
And you follow Vondor, and unless there was anything in particular you wanted to say to the king himself, he has no information. Baldur's body has been removed, and the mess has been cleaned. King Borelli, actually, you know what? There actually is something notable that he'll want to say. So as you enter, you explain the situation, and what you had achieved, and he nods and smiles at that, and he says,
very good. I'm very glad to know that everything went as well as it could have. What I would like to share with you is the development related to Balder. We felt it to be best to there is no easy way to put it, but we have lied to the Allfather. In your best interest and in ours. We informed him of Baldur's death. And we told him that we discovers Baldur's body within the underways, searching for the group of you. We told him we communed with the body, and sadly we have no idea where you have gone, or where you are. It seems as though bringing the Allfather this information, he seemed to believe us, as far as I could tell. He did think it was strange that Balder had died, but considering what beasts lie in the underways, he seemed strangely understanding. So for the time being, I believe he plots and plans, but has no intention to return to Caledarian. So for the time being, you are safe.
One more step in his bullshit prophecy.
Indeed. It was strange, though. How little emotion he showed. When a father loses his son, you would expect more from a man. Maybe power changes you, or maybe he's just different. I do not know.
Blood doesn't mean anything. I don't think that man's anyone's dad.
see, he nods at that in agreement. And says,
In other more positive news, earlier this morning, our envoy arrived in Loshar. Hopefully the teleportation circle should be finished by tomorrow. So hopefully, we will have a stable connection between Lo's sacred grove, the city of Caledarian, and this teleportation circle you established in Maester.
And she'll So obviously she's happy to hear that, but she'll just kind of be looking at the spot where Balder's body was. Just kind of seeming to relive that a little bit. It was... God, I mean, that was like hours ago.
Yeah.
And she'll just... The more you keep living, you just keep noticing how wrong everything is. Does that ever get better?
You see him sitting on that stone slab. You see him look down, and he thinks for a good moment.
Wow. I seem to keep asking questions lately that paralyze people. Sorry.
He smiles at that, and he shakes his head and says,
Do not apologize. A young mind that asks old questions should never be punished and should never apologize. It's a question I have not thought about myself in a very long time. I like to think that it's the reason why I try to do so much good. There's already so much pain, so much wrong. But with all of you, I thought maybe now is the time. Maybe now is the time I can't undo any of the wrong, any of the pain. But perhaps I can prevent some. Perhaps I can spread joy and hope. If I can do that, then it's enough. If I can do that.
Just... I don't know how to get past the fact that I'm always right. I'm trying to think that things are gonna go better. I'm trying to have hope. Ever since I got my second chance, keep trying. Because once you lose that, he wins, right? But I knew something was wrong as soon as Balder showed up. How am I supposed to keep hoping when I'm right? When there's no point trusting anybody outside of my tribe? When I always get fucked over?
It is easy for us to remember when we're hurt. Wounds linger for so long. But love and hope are such fleeting feelings. You remember pain, yes. It stings. It's a wound. But I know there are people you've met in your journey, those that have only been there a few moments, but they did what they could to help, to give you hope. But of course you don't remember them as easy. Hope and love are fleeting. Pain lingers.
I gotta deal with that for 700 years?
When you put it like that, it doesn't sound so easy. But there's one thing that you have that I don't. You have a much better chance to make a bigger difference in the lives of people after all is said and done. If the Dark One is destroyed and peace is finally had, the world won't be perfect. We won't be free of pain and suffering. But people like you could make a difference. A real one. You may have to continue to deal with pain, but it's a burden the powerful bear. Those that truly do care about those below them. Those not as strong. You shield others from pain because they have no way to protect themselves. It's a hard truth. But unless you forego those magical powers you've gained, and somehow separate your blood from that magic that courses through your veins, I don't know how much of a chance you have.
Thank you. Don't know who else to talk to about that.
I wish that I had more optimistic advice for you. And I hope that when you get to be my age, should you make it to this ripe old age, you can look at the world with a friendlier gaze. I truly do hope so.
Back to being the baby of the group. When
Yes.
will I know that that last teleportation has been set up?
I will have a message sent to Vondor. And then, Vondor, I assume then you can communicate with the rest of the individuals?
Yes, I can do that.
Very good. Then Vondor, as king of Caledarian, of the Mazdrum Mountains, of our people, I hereby appoint you as a permanent envoy of the nation of Belliclara, and that of Queen Bianca and her royal council.
He just gestures, and there's no grand nature other than that gesture to what he does. There's no paper, there's no nothing. Vondor just nods and says, "Of course."
Cecily likes that. If she ever ends up in this position, that's how things are gonna go. You're the envoy of the I don't know. Can you go send something for me?
Role models. There we go.
Yep.
Cecily just happens to be like an 800-year-old dwarf king. It's too funny.
That's just her. Honestly, King Borelli is a new role model for her. She's like, if I make it past 20, let alone to 750,
I want to be like that guy.
I want to be this chill. I don't want to end up like Odin.
Oh, God, yeah. Alrighty. So with that, Cecily, did you have anything else for King Borelli?
Nah, that was all good. She's just gonna go ahead and make sure that they know about the thingo, which we already talked about, and then she'll just go ahead and head back. Is Vondor gonna come with this time, or is he gonna start doing envoy business?
He'll return with you. He just needs a brief moment to gather some materials and belongings, but he'll still return with you.
Alright, so she'll just chill by the teleportation circle and kind of just breathe for a moment with the chanting of everyone there. Mm-hmm. And kind of having almost a mini vacation in this just little moment of separation before getting back to the frostbitten fight for life.
So about 10 minutes pass, but eventually Vondor does return with a large backpack, a collection of items hanging off, some close personal materials of his. And as the two of you teleport back, before you return, Ajax and Suni, we go ahead and cut back to you still within the temple of the All-Seeing. As you make your way back to the area where Cecily and Vondor were, you see that nobody is there. The teleportation circle seems to be completed. There is a dull glowing of runes, but neither one of them are anywhere to be seen. You look down the corridors, you look around corners, you don't see the two anywhere.
Suni, you're better with magic than I am. Do you know where they went?
Uni cracks his knuckles, does a squat, will put his hands down near to the teleportation circle, and not really do anything, and just say, I assume they went through the teleportation circle.
Suni,
but I can't be sure.
As soon as you put your hand down on the teleportation circle and go, there's a flash of light in that moment, and Cecily and Vondor appear.
Found them.
Well,
hello guys. I see you've introduced yourself.
Suni,
to my circle.
Your hand is right on top of Vondor's foot.
He's just gonna look up and pat his foot a couple of times and then shrink away.
Cecily, you went on vacation without us and didn't tell?
Well, okay, to be fair, King Borelli and I had a very important conversation that would have bored you.
Did you bring that?
I'll catch you up later.
Was it warm there?
Warmer.
Oh.
Yeah.
I would have listened to that conversation over this cold.
Yeah.
I'm just joking.
Did you bring back any souvenirs? Or snacks?
Did you bring back any of that bug meat?
You know, we really weren't there you're picturing a whole journey. It was like stopping off at the mail room.
Well, we just came back and you were gone, so we didn't know how long you'd actually been gone.
Vondor is going to walk away from this conversation and start setting his stuff down on a nearby bed.
But yeah, she'll just kind of...
Can we take this whenever we want?
Well, you need to cast into it, so you'll need somebody with you that can do that. But yeah, one or two at a time.
Okay.
But it works, no side effects or anything?
Cecily's nose is upside down.
Oh, hell yeah.
just permanently. It's just... She's just
hey,
breathing
beach
in
being
your eyes.
blue.
Oh God, yeah. No, Cecily's fine.
Yeah, she was just gonna ask, like, how's my skin? Like, do I look okay? But she'll just, no, not that I noticed.
Oh, that's good.
They're getting the
Wait.
third set up in Low Char, too. I
Did
think they're all gonna kind of be interconnected.
oh, well, that's good. You haven't seen Bianca and Carasilla. Did they go with you?
No, but they chat with each other a lot, so they're probably just somewhere doing that.
Yes. Carasilla can talk a lot.
Hey, look, Bianca prompts her, okay?
It has been 3 hours.
Yeah. Alright, let's go ahead and let's go find him.
Carasilla, you
All
feel
right.
a disturbance in the force. You feel this like, was shit just talked about me?
She was like in the middle of just like saying something to Bianca, just stops and this noticing, and just continues.
That's the worst too. Like in the middle of a story, like, oh god. Do I talk too much?
like Bianca is intently listening, like being a good listener, and Carasilla just kind of stops. Never mind. Okay, so speaking of, as the four of you reconvene in the area where the dwarves of Caladarian will be staying, you begin to head back towards the keep itself, back towards the winter cold. Sorry, it's important. You're bad and you should feel bad, John.
I'm sorry.
Absolute villain.
At the same time, it's funny.
Gemma, it's okay. This is just revenge. It's karma.
Wait, I just want it to be clear. This isn't a shot at Gemma. Carasilla is literally the talker of the group. She talks to people for us.
She is an eloquence bard, so talking is literally what she does. Yeah.
It's not about Gemma. It's about Carasilla.
No, but it is, isn't it, though, John?
No, oh no.
Anyway, so Carasilla, Bianca, as the two of you have now finished looking at the tapestries, did the two of you want to head back to the lodge where Keothi and Mimir are, or did you have something that you wish to bring up to Lord Commander Brighton? Was there something else you wished to visit while you were in the city? Or if not, you could easily head back to the lodge, meet up with Keothi and Mimir, and then get ready for bed.
And maybe we should check in. Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say, it's like heading into that evening period, right? Oh shit, everyone was gonna go back to the Bloody Brotherhood. Right?
Yeah, or were we gonna rest at the lodge first? Because we technically, I know we leveled up with a full rest, but like we're technically still wounded.
Correct, yeah.
So maybe
Yeah,
we were gonna go to the lodge and just rest.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alika, he has a relationship with you guys. He won't be offended if you don't return tonight.
I don't know who fucking this guy is, so like,
I mean, you saw what we looked like too.
Oh, yeah. So... I mean, granted, he did look rougher, but that's okay.
Right, that's fair. If we were comparing, I guess.
Okay, so yeah, you two head back to the lodge. And as I said...
Just like, actually, like, we need to check on Keothi as well, I feel like.
I know, I was
been alive, a lot of shit's happened, like...
Yeah.
Make some tea, you know?
Yeah.
Make sure she's okay.
What a hefty 6 hours.
Oh, yeah.
She's been alive.
She's feeling it. That's for sure.
Yeah. She was gone.
Sure she's okay.
She was gone longer than Cecily, too, so I imagine that's gotta fuck you up a little bit.
Yeah.
And just like wake up after like a week-long slumber in limbo and be like, "Oh God, we gotta go."
Yeah.
Oh Jesus.
Return to the lodge. Check in on Kier. Done.
So you return to the lodge, and you can see that you all have been assigned. They're not independent rooms, but there is a large area that has been blocked off for the 6 and a 10th of you, counting Mimir. So there is a special spot that was assembled for Mimir, a nice place for the head to rest. So he's not always hanging. You know, he's got like a little, it's like a little
cat like bed.
Yeah, it's like a little
Nice
cat
bed.
bed. Yeah. There's a
Mimir.
There's a little stand for a book to go, and a little brush and some paint there, so you can kind of mouth paint. Yeah, it's adorable. It's great. So Mimir's kind of sitting right there, and Keothi is sort of sitting next to him in her appropriately sized bed. And you can see as the two of you enter, the two of them are talking, and Mimir is kind of talking to her about what she's missed, just a little bit filling her in. And she says,
So, wait a minute. So I died. Because the last bit is a bit of a blur. And you said it was only about a week?
Mimir, he responds,
It was only about a week.
give or take a few days here or there. You see, Vondor arrived, the dwarf fellow that took us here through the underways. And when he arrived, he came with a proposal that he could bring someone back. And, well, they chose you.
What do you mean, chose?
And you can see Keothi sees the two of you enter.
Thank you, Mimir.
And she sort of forces a smile, seeing the two of you.
Hello, welcome to our lodgings. I think you can pick whichever bed you like. The only ones that are special are mine, Mimir's, and I believe that's Ajax's right there.
And you can see that it's about the same size as Keothi's.
Well, that only seems fair. How are you feeling?
I'm sure after a rest I'll feel better, but all things considered, I feel pretty okay. My strength is returning to me. I can start to feel some of the connections I had. Connection to Eluin grows stronger again, which is good. So I'm sure I'll be better with rest.
Good. I mean, that makes sense. All of us got pretty beaten up there for a bit too, so. Ooh, I'm gonna not read her mind. I'm gonna insight.
Okay, yeah, you're not Lila. Get the fuck out of here.
No, I was like, read her mind. Oops. Is that okay if I roll it?
Yeah, make an insight check.
Oh, okay, cool. Too bad she's not. This is also not her strength. 16? Okay, though.
16. Okay. +1 to deception. That's a 6. Okay. You heard the very end of the conversation between the two of them as you entered, and it's pretty easy to draw those parallels. And she is confused because she doesn't know all the details of Periton. It seems as though with her, the power word kill, it's affected her memory to a degree where kind of the entirety of the events of Periton is a little hazy for her. But as she looks at you and as you're talking and as you make the realization that she's unsettled and confused, you can see her make a realization, remembering an event that transpired that she was there for.
Wait. That was Felicity.
And
really awkward of Bianca.
she doesn't say anything, Bianca, but she will hug you. And she won't say anything while she hugs you, but she just hugs you tightly and won't let go until you start to sort of loosen that grip.
Okay, I mean, she'll also hold her really tightly too. And she will, after, a moment, she will, release and say, definitely need rest, but there's a lot of catching up to do. I'm really glad you're here with us, though.
I'm glad I'm here too. But we can talk more in the morning.
Again, it's something that could also wait for the morning, but if you would like to send a message to the Goliaths and not have to worry about using your own strength for it, I'm happy to pass something on for you.
If you could, that would be wonderful. Thank you.
And I mean, she could just channel it for her so Kyo can actually say something, because I feel like that's better.
Yeah.
For them to hear from her.
Yeah. And you can see she channels through the magic and she says,
Zariak, it's me, it's Keothi. They brought me back. I don't know if you were planning on heading to Maester, but get here as soon as you can. We need to commune with the elders.
And Zariak does respond, and Carousel, you actually would know Zariak. He is the Goliath that you spoke with very briefly in Periton, the one who kind of became the de facto leader. And he responds with almost like a gasp of air of disbelief, and he says,
We'll be there as soon as we can. We're in Vesna now, but we will ride throughout the night and we will be there as soon as we can. We're so happy you're back, Kalukatho.
And Keothi will nod.
Thank you.
Of course. Anytime. Though I know it's magic too, which you also possess, but I think these moments it's best to hold on to any strength that you have left.
I agree. Well, Mimir caught me up to what happened in Periton after. But I'd love to know what Caledarian was like. I was only there for about an hour. I don't know if you have anything else you'd like to share.
It was a really cool experience. Such a unified people. And their connection to their past, just the souls, that it just feels like there is definitely death, but it's a life in death, living and breathing, and no one's forgotten. It was very refreshing.
I had never had the chance to experience those of Caledarian. What I will say, though, is from what I read about them in our libraries, they always seemed very interesting. I know they suffered a great deal of guilt from the crafting of Mjolnir, which is why they closed their borders, so I hope that they feel as though some wrongs are being corrected. I'm very happy to hear they reached out to all of you. Something that has not happened in a long time, so all of you are very, very, very special. If you didn't already know.
Definitely feeling special. I believe, once they feel like things are corrected in Bella Clara, or at least the Old Kingdom, they will permanently recluse again. And though I told them I would love to keep that an open relationship between the two, I respect their decision. And I think that, everyone else kind of felt the same way about that. They're kind of like giving their last gift is what it feels like.
That is, very interesting. I never would have thought that would have been the case, but, it seems as though things are changing. It's interesting. Well, you see her eyebrows kind of twinge a bit, but she nods and kind of processes it a bit. And as you do, there's a knock at these sort of two doors that connect. So like I said, this area is kind of like a longhouse where there's like a multitude of rooms that are kind of strung together, and you can hear a knock at your door. And as any one of the group of you open it, you can see that there is what looks to be a servant of some kind. A worker with a tray of food and warm beverage that enters the room and sets it on a table. And you can see a collection of like smoked dried meat, some cooked vegetables, and then like warm, like steaming wine and hot tea that she sets down on the table and says, if there's anything else you need, feel free to find any one of us working, and we'd be more than happy to retrieve it for you. We're very happy to have someone here who can help.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Of course. And
Yeah, I'm gonna have some of that wine.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, spice. A spiced warm wine. Keothi takes a few sips of the wine as well. As you guys have a little girls' couple of hours with Mimir.
Cal plus Mimir hours. Love it.
Mm-hmm.
Mimir's one of the gals anyway.
Yeah, man.
Might
At
as
this
well.
point.
Yeah. So, as all of you sort of sit there, catching up just a little bit, informing Keothi as to what happened as all of you were in Caledarian. Eventually, Ajax, Cecily, Suni, was there anything else you wanted to do, or are you just going to head back to the keep, or to the lodge?
Ajax got none.
Lodge.
Alrighty.
Cecily will simply mention, if they bring up the fact that they dueled, that she wants to duel one of them sometime. But that's it.
Suni is a very good duelist. Also, you'd want to do what?
Well, I don't think I could use magic, because I'd kill you, but, like...
Well...
I don't know, you could, like, hand me a sword. I'll try.
This is turning into
a sword after all.
This is starting to turn into a group thing. I feel like I should just start training sessions every morning for everybody.
Honestly, we could probably all use it.
Tomorrow morning, I'll steal Bianca's sword.
Probably just ask. Just ask her.
Well, I mean,
No, you should steal it.
I don't know if it'll help, Cecily, but if you'd like, you can use mine. It's a bit heavier. It was one of the things that the dwarves gave me, and she like pulls out this maul, like heavy two-handed maul. I mean, you can try and use it if you'd like.
I think you
Keo,
should use Keothi's.
Keo, I'm flattered, but I'm gonna try to pick it up. She'll give it a go.
What's Cecily's strength?
Yeah, what's
Negative?
Cecily's strength? 8?
It's 8. Yeah.
So -1.
It's like when Captain America tries to pick up Mjolnir in the Avengers, and you get it like an inch off the ground, and then set it back down.
Why don't you just try one of these? And he pulls a hand axe off his belt.
She just kind of, yeah, there we go. That's my size.
Now that's a scary sight. Cecily with an axe.
I mean, Cecily, if you'd like, we could do some strength and conditioning training together if you want to bulk up a bit.
I'm pretty wrapped up with meditation and juggling. Those are kind of my.
Oh, see,
That's.
Well,
You-
now you're going to be training with us in the morning.
Well, we'll see how it goes.
Keo, I'll take you up on that. He's gonna lift up his arm. I'm getting a little flabby.
oh,
Kind of push at
Open
his
season.
triceps.
yes, it's a little bit like a frown, but don't worry, we'll turn it upside down.
That's what I like to hear.
No brother
did
of mine
you
is
two-
going to be. It's gonna look that weak.
Where did you two run off to?
We went back here. I mean, we looked at the tapestries, just kind of looked around, chatted for a bit, came back here to check in on
Told
Keothi.
ya. Chatting.
Well, yes.
I-
I will. Carousel, like, putting things together in her brain, but not going to say anything. I will say, though, there was one thing I think might be worth noting about the tapestries. It largely was just off the decline of whatever house was here. We couldn't find a name, but one of the individuals depicted at the end was a man with sapphire eyes. I'm not sure if it has any relation to this. Was it Sapphire God?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I cannot find my notes. Yeah. With the Sapphire God that Azur and I suppose many in the town have been following, but it seemed to be just an odd coincidence, if anything.
Maybe, but maybe not. That definitely was more recent in the history. A noble house here.
Good thing to keep track of.
Honestly, I plan to ask Azur more about what she's been doing and the whole temple and God itself as well, so perhaps be able to have something more to contribute there later.
Suni and I fought. Sparred. And, got to meet one of the masters of the order.
2 of the masters of the order.
2. Suni might join them.
I mean, I kind of figured that was self-explanatory since you're kind of practicing.
Or the
Yeah.
plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't learned much. He just kind of gave these things to me and said, have at it. So,
You've been
Yeah,
doing a pretty
you
good
did.
job.
thank you.
Well, Vondor and I made a circle. I know that doesn't sound as interesting as the other 2 things, but
I mean, we know
Because-
what kind of circle it was. We all were there.
yeah, it's a cool circle. Thank you.
Cecily went back to Aladari and
Yeah. That's how they said
Yep.
it last time
Aye,
I was
lad,
there.
that's the name of the city. You got it. It was a little slow on the draw there, but not the fastest speaker in the West, are we?
because of my big frame, the vocals take longer to go.
Oh, aye.
Yeah.
Big frame. Interesting.
You know, Mimir, we haven't talked very much.
Have we not? Haven't noticed, lad.
Probably a good reason why. So, anyways.
Aye, all the stimulating conversation, I'm sure.
So, we filled Keothi in a little bit more, as did Mimir. So she's caught up to speed a little bit, but I know we're all feeling a little rough still from earlier. It's a long day, so maybe we just need some rest.
We have to plan tomorrow.
I mean, I don't even know what to plan. We're gonna talk to the warden that arrives, and then they'll tell us where he is. Like, we don't even know where we're going. Where the heck this guy is.
I meant more strategy on the map.
Oh, I thought you meant for the
Well, in
Uh-huh.
that case, I thought we were kind of on the same page. Wait for Warden, go kill Forsaken.
Yeah, that's kind of what I don't. Yep.
So, before we all turn in for the night, do I need to get up and spur you during the training? Because I'm gonna have to get up extra early to keep up with the meditation. Or like, can we just do this right now?
Sparring.
Yeah, with the axe. Look, I don't know how to not hurt you with the other shit. So.
Sure.
All right,
Ajax looks around. Is there enough space for this?
No, but you can try still.
Maybe I should go out.
Training
These are
several training arenas that we're aware of.
and there's
Well,
people
Cecily
here
said now.
resting. But the people are here resting.
I think we should respect the sanctity of this communal dorm room, and those of us which would prefer to get a bit more quiet, a bit more peace, and a bit more sleep. And training can at least be done outside.
You know what, Carosilla? I can agree to those conditions. All right, come on, Ajax. And Suni too, if you want to.
All right.
Stay warm out there, though.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
I'm gonna just leave this here, and he's gonna put his shield like next to his bedroll.
He's gonna leave his his spear there as well, and just take one of his javelins.
Okay. All right. The two of you head outside and you huddle underneath a lamp. As it gets to be this late at night,
Wait, we're going outside?
you're outside. It is awful out here. Like,
Wait, why did we come out here?
Peace and quiet.
absolutely.
There's a
Over-
training. There's a sand pit down there.
Nah, man,
Absolutely
we'll do it
overwhelming. It is probably, I'm trying to think, even underneath, the pillar of light and flame and warmth, you're probably still looking at -25, -30 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about -30 degrees Celsius.
Wow. That's enough
This-
to kill you in about an hour. Awesome.
All right, Suni. Just stay there. Cecily, can you hear me?
Yeah!
We have about an hour. Maybe
What?
a little less.
Let's not use all of it.
That is preferable. Attack me.
Oh, God. Ajax, I'm full of bad ideas. Let's just get this over with.
This is one of them.
Is the hand axe a strength or a dex weapon?
It is strength.
Alright, -1. Boom.
Bless on Cecily.
Oh my god!
way!
Yo!
This is natural.
Oh, that's so funny.
Ajax!
I don't have my
you-
shield on. Hold on, let me
Ajax!
take it off.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
This is out of a movie with Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly. What happens right now? Cecily, you just like start running towards him with the axe, and as you bring it down, Ajax, you don't try to dodge out of the way because you think she's gonna miss. But Cecily, as you bring the axe down, it jams into Ajax's thigh meat, just like right on the outside. Just you cut the axe into his leg, and Ajax, you don't feel it at first because of how cold it is outside, but the axe impacts and you look down and there's an axe in your leg, and Cecily,
Yeah,
you let go and the axe stays there.
He looks
Ajax,
down.
why didn't you do anything?
He slowly looks up.
That was very good.
And just pulls the axe out.
Dooney will lay on hands immediately.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The wound closes.
Cecily's
All right.
pacing like, what the Ajax?
Well, now
Why?
it's my turn.
Ajax is going to swing the hand axe. He's not going to hit Cecily. But he's
Okay.
going to swing it.
Okay.
Yeah, 19 plus 9.
Yeah. Yeah, fun fact, that's as high as I got with a natural 20.
So, Ajax is going to just kind of grab your arm, Cecily, pull you in, and then just put the axe right to your neck.
Okay,
Now, there
see,
was-
this is where I would teleport away. But we're not playing those rules, so you would.
I imparted some wisdom on Bianca a little bit ago. Always be on your guard.
Okay.
You can see as you have the axe to your neck and you drop it in a big heavy fur cloak with this massive lantern that he's holding up. Captain Fedorov. He says, "What in the name of the gods are you doing out here? Are you training?
We're
you know how-
sparring.
Do you know how cold it is out here? You could die within an hour."
Roommates are sleeping.
We're only taking 30 minutes.
Go inside, you idiots.
That's a great idea.
Pulls the hood up and continues
Yeah,
walking.
that's. Oh, God. Okay. Guys, I'm
Alright.
sorry. This was bad. We shouldn't have done this.
How about we do this later in an actual training pit instead of outside in the freezing cold?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Agreed.
Snooty, I'm sorry. You didn't have to. I know this isn't your thing.
Dooney's just like vibrating. He's shivering so much.
Ajax is just, come on, and he just kind of wraps his arm around both of them and just starts walking inside. As we get inside, what's
Back
that?
so soon?
He
training
points to his
session?
leg.
Cecily has mortally wounded me.
Go to
You didn't
Cecily.
Pointing to his leg.
He didn't move. I really thought he would fucking move. He just didn't move. I thought he
I'm
was
not
gonna
good.
do something.
It might have been my old eyes or my confidence that she wouldn't hit me, but she did.
I wasn't gonna hit you if you moved. I don't. That's how you spar, right? You don't.
Well,
No.
one rule of sparring, which I did not impart onto you beforehand, you don't actually hit each other. You kind
Oh.
of stop right before. But it's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
Whether
Ajax,
they move
that
or not.
really
Kind of
should've
pats
been-
the small scar that's there.
This will be remembrance of the time we had sparring for the first time.
Ajax,
In a blizzard.
I feel so bad, but you should have told me that was the one rule.
No, this is entirely my fault. You shouldn't feel bad, Cecily. I completely missed the mark on.
Okay. I'm gonna just like drop everything in the hallway. I'm gonna go-
Tomorrow morning, we will be training.
And he looks to Bianca, Suni, and Cecily. Looks over to Caracilla.
You want to train with us?
Ursula has just been currently just sat back, and she will just give a hearty no, and will turn around.
That's fair.
Caracilla, if you do it, I'll do it. But if you just want to be the art people of the party, I'm cool with that too.
I mean, Caracilla did get a really cool blade recently, but well, it's not mine to say.
I could use it well enough. It's all right. I'll
Well,
take my mornings to myself, thank you.
Ajax her sister couldn't even get her to do training, so don't take any offense to it.
Oh,
I'm
no
so
offense
glad I
taken.
had Morwen there. You know, I never had to do any of the morning trainings for our troops. It was fantastic.
Yeah,
Well,
I agree. Some things are just natural, you know? I don't need to train. I got it.
oh, now you don't want to train.
Well, I want to meditate. And I
Alright.
want to... I don't know,
There are
man.
more ways to train. than
All right.
swinging
Well,
a
the two of
blade.
you, looks to Bianca and City. First thing in the morning.
Yeah,
Got
it's
it.
an exclusive club. Sword users only. Sorry, Ajax, you're not welcome anymore. You don't have a sword.
No, it's the tail squad.
Oh,
Anyone's
it's
got a
the
tail.
squad.
Slight cry
Oh,
as
yeah.
his broken sword is gone.
Too soon?
Maybe.
As all
It's
of
okay.
you are, the conversation begins to wind down as the group of you stand within your lodging, preparing for bed, preparing to head to sleep. You hear a knock at your door. Rather late at night. It's probably 8:30, maybe 9:30 right now. Who goes to answer?
Yeah, Carousel.
Okay.
Yeah,
Carasilla
go,
said
go.
first. So Carasilla, as you get up from your bed and you go to open the door, you can see Lord Commander Liliana Brighton standing there as she looks to you and says, "Well, I have very good news for all of you. Luckily, the warden has arrived early. All of you will still be arriving in the morning. But it is my great pleasure to introduce the warden of Afera and one of the wardens of the Gemstone Archipelago, Varnas Talmaru."
You little bitch.
And as she steps aside, a man enters the room. And Varnast, would you like to describe your character?
Hell yeah, I would. It's been too long, old friend. Hi guys.
Hi.
Sorry, this is very emotional for me, so give me a second. Oh. So yeah, you see a fairly capable-looking man, right around like 30, 31 in age. He's wearing this full set of like black plate mail, and it looks like there's these blue almost kind of like veins that are just kind of like running through it, which clearly the armor is enchanted in some way. He has a very thin, like a well-kept beard, but across like the bottom of his jaw, you see like these 3 claw marks where the hair isn't quite growing back, where clearly there was some sort of a serious injury there. Over the plate armor, he's wearing what appears to be like this very thick, kind of like fur poncho. He's kind of thrown it back, so it almost looks more kind of like a cape, like Clint Eastwood would right now. And yeah, he's got this black obsidian-looking shield that almost looks like there's like bits of magma that are passing through it. And he's got a very elaborate, nice-looking longsword strapped to his hip, and his typical tricorn hat atop his head.
Alrighty. So as all of you see Varnast there, all of you are very familiar with the stories and tales about the wardens, their connection with Emeriel, and the great impact they've had on the world. You know this is one of many, but this will be the individual that will be traveling with you to fight and hopefully kill on Voth Moonfall, the first of the 13 Forsaken to hopefully be destroyed by you, and this time hopefully with Balefire. So, with that note, as Varnas stands in the doorway, ready to introduce himself to all of you and ready to talk about your meaning, that is where we're going to go ahead and end tonight's session. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Thank you to Pedigree81555 for the follow. It's hard during a D&D session to say that in the moment without it being too weird, so thanks so much for that. We appreciate you. Be sure to tune in next Tuesday for the continuation of the Salamander Coast. See what happens with this member of the 13 Forsaken. See what happens with Varnast Halmaru, one of a PC from a previous campaign. I'm very happy to have Varnast back. And I suppose I can say this now. When Ryan came to me with this idea, one of the ideas that I had is for those individuals that are still active participants in the games. I do want to give those people an opportunity to play their Athera characters one last time in a way that really pays off for them. So Alec will be appearing in Salamander Coast sometime, and Torin, John, I'm going to talk to you about having him show up in Isles in a capacity where he's actually helping the party do something. So I'd really love for the Wardens to get their final send away in a way that it feels good. So hopefully, Ryan, by the end of this, you'll feel like Varnast got the end that he deserves. That sounds like a threat. It's not. I promise.
I knew what you meant.
I
knew what you meant.
So be sure to tune in tomorrow for the Tales of Everend as the party faces down against Oberyn Blackmore, the most evil vampire daddy that's ever existed.
To add that word on there, but
or tune in this Saturday for the Isles of Iverion as the party descends into the Mausoleum of Souls and will be confronted by those past memories that are dead and gone, and hopefully be able to make it out the other end with the artifact they need. So that's it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.